Yes.
Because I was reading in this week in The Perfect Master by C.V. Purdom, and where in 1932 Baba, was traveling, came to the West, and gave some talks. And at that time, he said something again, which we've all heard, but I've been needing to remind myself that there will always be opposition to his work, and that helps rather than hinders. And so then he said something about America has tremendous energy, but most of this energy is mixed directed, and I intend to divert it into spiritual and creative channels. And so he he said that so long ago, and I feel that in myself that the prayer, the prayer of repentance has become so alive with me in that everything in there that I'm repenting for, I'm experiencing to its fullest. It's a lot of hatred and anger and lust and greed. And you name it, I'm experiencing it. So I thought, oh my gosh, this is terrible. I don't like everybody. I hate everybody. And nobody measures up to what I want them to be. I have 4 grandsons, 2 children. None of them measure up to what I want them to be. And this has come up so to the fore that I knew conceptually, okay, it has to float up. It has to float up. It has to float up for expanding into the ether. And so tonight, in being with all of you and saying that prayer together, I could feel the joy of those aspects that I am really in front of my face right now for transformation. And so it's not like usual my dog or cat story, but it's a story that I feel so grateful for being here tonight because of this floating up and being so in my face and the opposition and how opposition serves. So that's all I have to say about that.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's so true.
Yeah.
Jeff, if I go to mehercenter.org tomorrow between 11 and 1, will there be some kind of link to live stream Baba's bedroom?
I think so. I'm not sure of all of that, but I think they have they're live streaming Baba's bedroom, or there's also a view of the lake because I've seen the camera looking from Baba's house onto the lake.
Oh, I'll have to try to find it. I couldn't find it the other day,
Yeah.
but I'm trying.
Hey, Marian, I just thought I'll respond to you. I mean, it's so beautiful. I mean, whenever I do prayer, particularly the repentance prayer, I mean, we are literally confessing to Baba and all that we feel inside and what has transpired in our lives and all that stuff. So it's almost like, that age-old tradition of confession, and that's exactly how it is. So it does obviously heal us in every way that, you know, it's a beautiful prayer anyway. So, Jai Baba.
And you never get rid of all of these. You get realization before you get rid of all of these things. It's true. It's not like when you finally get rid of lust, greed, anger, and jealousy, or all that, and then you get realization. You get it while you're in the middle of dealing with these things.
Yes.
That's what we hope for.
Yeah. There's hope for us.
That's beautiful, Jeff, what you just said. It's so beautiful. I mean, you don't have to wait for all these to be cleaned up. I mean, you just love him and then the rest will automatically be taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a perfectionism won't get you perfection. I remember one time I had come to just give you a preface, my early years of going to India, Baba had me making the distinction between good and love. And he had me like over a microscope trying to make the distinction between good and love. I mean, you really, I mean, he kind of, a number of trips. I mean, I was going every year, and that was one of the themes. And, you know, it's like you got to be a jeweler to tell the difference between a diamond and and a and a crystal, you might say. So I was trying to dealing with that, and that was a preoccupation. And I came to India one time, and I came into Mandalay Hall, and it was the first day at Marizad for me on a month-long trip. And I sat down, and there was a discussion that had been going on, and then Erich turns to me, apropos of nothing, had nothing to do with the subject being discussed, and he said, "Jeff, the accumulation of virtue is not the goal." And even though I was dealing, I mean, he basically said the accumulation of good is not the goal. He said the accumulation of virtue is not the goal. And even though I was working on this for some years, I went blank. But I didn't say, well, what is the goal, Erich? I said, I'll let this trip be the answer to, you know, to what the goal is. So nothing happened until toward the end of my trip. And I got this vision. This is not an exalted vision. This is just a metaphorical vision where I saw all of creation as this huge expanse, going from a lower elevation to a gradually higher and higher elevation, going from vice, you know, to virtue, you know, off to the horizon. And across this expanse, there was a train that was chugging mightily along the tracks across this huge expanse. And the words that came to my mind were, the object is to get off the train at your earliest convenience. Not, not when you're way up on in virtue, or I mean, if you can get off when you're still in vice, that's good, you know. But the farther you go into virtue, it might be even harder to get off of the train because virtue works so well in this world, you know. So, and then I remembered Victor Hugo had a line where he said, the French novelist, virtue, as in the case of vice, is a calculated action. But love is not calculated. It wells up in the heart and expresses itself spontaneously.
Wow. Wow.
So, you know, Erich was saying that, I mean, virtue and pursuing good and virtue is good, but they're just like training wheels until love and intuition can carry on independently without the training wheels. That was the impression I got from Erich. Virtue is, he didn't say virtue is bad, but it's just not the goal. And Baba himself says virtue is not the goal. Good is not the goal. Yeah.
I guess because there is discrimination involved in the process, right?
Well, one is a calculated action and the other one is spontaneous.
Yeah.
I mean, good at best is about a millisecond short of spontaneity.
Yeah, yeah.
But Baba says you go from bad to good to God. You go from bad to good to love. So good has got to be in there.
Bad to good to
It's hard to go from bad to love. It's possible though.
Possible, yeah.
best to good first.
Yeah. Hey, Mayor Prasad, how you doing out there in Seattle? Just starting your evening.
Yeah, that's right. Doing pretty well.
Anything that you read or any thoughts about Baba or flashes that have come to you since I saw you last?
Nothing really. In the effort and grace, there was a lot of talk about worry, and I didn't have time to really chime in yesterday, but
Yeah,
I've noticed over the years, in my 50 years, that worry is always just imagination. And, we
worry is always
imagine
what?
imagination.
Yeah, yeah,
We imagine that something will happen, but we want something else to happen.
yeah,
So there is two ways that I found that can work on it. We either change the want into a longing for Baba, so
yeah,
that that will get resolved, or you change the imagination towards imagining that Baba is with you. So either one of those will work pretty
yeah,
well. But
yeah.
I've
He's
found
giving,
that it's
uh,
always
someone's giving a class on worry tomorrow on the Circle Center at 7 o'clock.
Huh.
Mary, who is it? Mary Beckett? Is that right?
Hmm.
I gotta check her.
Oh, yeah, Mary Barrett. Mary Barrett.
Barrett, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And she's gonna tell you how not to worry.
Uh-oh.
Right.
I'm worried about that.
I'm gonna tell you what she said. It's called "Don't Worry, Be Happy,"
Yeah.
and she will share from her training and personal experience with worry, anxiety,
Yeah.
simple heart-focused somatic and energetic techniques and practices that reorient us to our heart, appreciation, joy, and more with Baba's help.
Yeah.
So
Wonderful.
tune in tomorrow at 7.
7 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah,
like-
the last topic, Jeff, was about cheerfulness.
Yeah.
That was interesting. But, I mean, I think I did share in that meeting for a few seconds. I happened to hear Erich talking about being cheerful. Somebody asked, I mean, one of American Baba lovers asked him, what does it mean to you, being cheerful? So then, I mean, I'm sure you recall what I probably said at the time, but
A
Erich
warmth
said
of heart.
Erich basically said, I mean, it doesn't mean that you have to have your teeth bared all the time and keep smiling and all that stuff. But more importantly, you have to have that warmth in your heart, and which I thought was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I said that because I thought it might just
Yeah.
provoke thought in everybody here, and then we can continue on the talk. Yeah.
I like what Mark Twain said. I've been through many trials and tribulations in this life, and most of them never happened.
That's so beautiful. Yeah, actually, that's so true. Like Baba said that too, right? Remember all that good that happened to you and all that bad that happened to you in the past. And I can't relive either of them. I mean, neither I can enjoy the greatest
Never
happy
happened.
moment I had, and nor all the sad feeling that I had in the way past. And those just are simply memories, and I can't even relive them now. So I guess, like Baba said, it makes no sense to hang out to those. And
I used to, when I was in college in New York, and I came from the Northwest to New York City, and it was really pretty cold in the winter. And I'd be freezing, on a subway and around college and everything like that. And it'd be like really bitter. But then the moment I stepped into a building, the cold is gone.
yep.
It's like it didn't happen. I mean, it was like, it struck me, wow, incredible. I mean, I was dealing with that cold and everything, and it just doesn't exist now. And in a way, I mean, that was kind of a metaphor for how things, they just vanish. Once you're in a better place, it drops away.
Yeah, like somebody said, anything that has a beginning has to have an end.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
This shoe tell this, but there's certain patterns that won't let you be free. I mean, it's easy enough to step into a warm building and the cold goes. But if you're worried about, an exam that's coming up, you step into a warm building and the worry doesn't. The worry is still turning there.
I went through it when I was in my master's program. I said, I mean, the whole life would end. I had such, I definitely didn't have a great time wherever I studied my master's. And I just wanted to get over. And then, and I tell you, when I was in the train back home from the college and after doing whatever I did, and I felt so good. I mean, the whole train journey, I mean, Indian trains are only so good. But I just didn't mind it. I just didn't mind it. It was perfect, actually. So, because it's over and that kind of
Yeah, no more exams, thank God.
thing.
No more term papers. And so Pari, I'm gonna find out how are you doing?
Hello, Jai Baba Jeff.
How have you been doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay. You're waking up okay?
Yes, I do wake up in pain on certain days, but then I remember what you told me and
Yeah.
I keep repeating Baba's name and that helps. And then I log on to the Aarti for that reason because it helps me
Yeah,
to focus on Baba.
beautiful.
Yes.
Ramakrishna, who was, one of the famous Indian saints from the latter part of the 1800s, said during the Kali Yuga, which is the period that we're in, the only thing that would help was saying God's name. I remember that made a deep impression on me.
Yes.
It it keeps a lot of things at bay. And Merwan Jesawala, you remember him from Marazad. He,
Yes.
he he used to say, uh, I'm going to see if I can quote this exactly. He said, when you remember Baba's name, to say Baba's name during the day, your mind and your ego will try to convince you that this is too easy a way to follow Baba, because they know that you now have the weapon in your hands to destroy both of them, both your ego and your mind.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
So, but it seems too easy, just to say Baba's name inwardly. I mean, what in the Western civilizations, just saying a name over and over again is kind of, how could that really be anything of any depth? but it but it certainly is.
Well, they have another name for
Actually,
it.
that
Yeah.
was the last piece of advice that Meherwan had given me.
Oh,
I was undergoing my hip replacement surgery in the year 2016.
yeah.
And prior to the surgery, I had called him up to talk with him and let him know that I will be undergoing the surgery. And he said, remember to take Baba's name constantly. And I think it was in that year itself, in the month of August, when he passed away. So the funny thing is that when I was supposed to undergo my hip replacement surgery, we were getting a lot of different opinions from people and from doctors. some were saying that I was too young to undergo a hip replacement surgery, and some were saying that if it is affecting the quality of your life and your bone is degenerating, you should undergo the surgery. And mom was very torn about the whole thing, but somehow I had that inner voice telling me that I needed to undergo the surgery. It was time. And when we went to meet my ortho in Bombay, the one who was supposed to operate on me, I've been his patient for the last 15 or 17 years. And he has known that I am a Baba lover. And very often I had mentioned to him that, I go to Mehrabad and I attend in
Oh,
Bombay. So he never mentioned anything about Baba or his views on that matter. And when we were talking about the whole surgery and whether I should undergo it or not, he said, okay, if you feel it's affecting the quality of your life, I will operate on you. That's no problem. So I just told him, like, once I undergo the surgery, I would have certain restrictions, and one of them was that I wouldn't be able to kneel down, otherwise the prosthetic can get dislocated. So I just happened to mention to him that you give me a date for the surgery, but because I need to go to Mehrabad and kneel down at Baba's Samadhi, because post the surgery, I won't be able to do that. So I would like to do that. So he turns around and he says, oh, Meher Baba. I said, yeah, Meher Baba. He's saying, by the way, did you know I've met Meher Baba in 1965 in Pune?
oh, boy.
And mom and me were so surprised, and we said, really, you've never mentioned this in all the years that we've known you? And he said, oh, no, my father's friend was a Baba lover, and there was this darshan program happening, and my doctor and his father both had gone for that darshan program. And then the surgery date was fixed by him. And when we left the clinic, I told mom, I said, see, Baba's way of working is so very magical, because had he mentioned this to us at any other point in time, we would have probably not realized the significance. But it was because, we were so torn about the whole process. It was Baba's way of saying that the person who is operating on you, I have already, given him my darshan, so you will be safe in his hands, is
Beautiful.
what I felt. So, yeah.
Beautiful. I know these are the kind of things that Baba does. They're so personal and they're so intimate that, like, he knows you so well and does whatever he can to make you feel comfortable. It's what you've said there, so many people have experienced with Baba, even though he doesn't do it all the time, but he does it just at the right time.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's beautiful, Corey. Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
Jeff, I wanted to ask you, I was listening to one of your late night chats, and you happened to mention that when you cry warm tears, they're for yourself, and when you cry cold tears, they're for the beloved. So, I mean, did Baba say that, or was that said by
Well,
the mantra?
Erich would say that, but he must have gotten it from Baba. Or Erich was very knowledgeable about Ramakrishna and Paramahansa. And uh, cool tears are for the beloved, warm tears are for the self. Sometimes you'll notice, notice your tears sometimes. So, occasionally, for me, they're cool.
Yes. I had experienced cold tears when I had gone to Hamirpur. My first visit to Merasthana, and the caretaker of Baba's hut where he declared his avatarhood, that caretaker was telling us all the stories associated with Baba's visit to Hamirpur, and I was just crying, and I could literally feel that they were cool tears. And there was just this overwhelming feeling of love. And when Baba said, if you want to feel how to love me, you should go to Hamirpur. And I could understand why Baba called it his heart,
Yeah.
because that sense of love was so strongly present over there. And at that point in time, the caretaker told me as well that, oh, cool tears are for the beloved. And I'm like, okay, I never knew that, so that's why I wanted to know more about it.
No, that's a very rare thing, and it's quite beautiful because, yeah, the tears are for him. The joy, you're so deeply touched, or the joy that you experience. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes someone would be in Mandalay Hall and kind of with tears streaming down their cheeks, and Erich would say, "Are they cool tears or warm tears?" Usually they would say warm tears. Oh, if they were cool tears, it would have been for the beloved. I mean, he didn't say that critically, but it was just something that I noted over the years. Well, we don't have Alan Nukian or Jake. There's some,
Jeff,
huh?
Jeff,
Yeah.
we were talking about tears, and my understanding is that tears of joy, as opposed to tears of sadness, come from two different ducts. They don't come from the same tear duct.
Uh-huh.
It's a separate tear altogether.
Okay, maybe that's,
Don't know about the warm and the hot, but I do know that sadness and happiness come from two different
yeah,
tear
well,
ducts.
maybe one is cool and one is warm, coming from different ducts. Who
Yeah,
knows? Very interesting. Yeah.
Someone
but there's,
asked,
What's that, Mayor Prasad?
you may know this little anecdote, but someone asked Iruch what was his most favorite moment with Baba, and he told this little episode or incident. One time in Mehrazad, I think it was, during lunchtime, people would go to eat, and Baba would send away everyone. So everyone went, and Iruch, for some reason, he didn't go. He just stayed there in the hall. And Baba told him to, come. So Iruch thought that Baba needed something, but um, Baba said, no, just come here and stay. So he just stayed there. And then Baba looked at his eyes, and Iruch looked at Baba's eyes. And nothing was said. And they just looked at each other. And Iruch said that he never had a chance to look at Baba leisurely. And he looked at Baba, and he found that there were cool tears just rolling down his
Oh, wow. Yeah.
face. And that's it. That was, he said that was one of the most precious moments he had with Baba.
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, because he was so busy responding to what Baba needed that they didn't have time to enjoy their own love for Baba.
Yeah.
They were,
I'm going to say good night to everyone and hope to see
yeah.
some of you, if not all of you, tomorrow morning. And I
Okay.
have a concert at 11. So I hope to
Okay.
see some of you there.
We'll
Yeah.
see you.
Jai Baba.
See you,
Baba.
Jai Baba, Al. Yeah.
Sleep well, Al.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I never heard about this difference between cold and warm. Now I think I have to pay attention.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Mayor Prasad, I do remember about that story when Erich talks about he's having that special time with Baba.
Yeah.
He intentionally didn't want to go for lunch, and then he just stays there. And I think Baba calls him closer and asks him to pull his chair a bit closer, and then they just look at each other. That's intense.
and he
I wrote,
asked him to kiss him on the cheek. And Erich was thinking, what is this old man wanting, asking people to kiss him? Oh, really? And he kissed Baba, and Baba says, is that the way you kiss your beloved? I mean, but he realized, I mean, among other things, he realized that, he just somehow took it for granted or didn't, just did it, just kind of obeyed, but not with the love that he realized later on when he was telling us that he should have expressed to Baba. They always felt that
I
they
wrote a little
never
poem
did.
on
Huh?
I wrote a little poem on that movement about 10 years back.
Ah,
You want me to read it?
yeah.
It's called Precious. Lord, my most precious moment, you and I alone together, gazing at one another, a tender look on your face, and tears rolling down my eyes.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, these are the most exalted experiences. I remember Adi saying that the difference between someone on the gross plane and someone on the sixth plane, someone on the gross plane is drowning in 6,000 feet of water. Someone on the sixth plane is drowning in 6 inches of water.
Wow.
But they're still drowning,
Yeah.
But that kissing Baba on the cheek or that moment is beyond all of that, Wow.
Yeah, I just I have to listen to it, but there is an audio cassette I just found today about the direct relatedness to Baba, relatedness to Avatar by Don Stevens. And if I grasp something in that talk, I'll share that with you guys
Yeah.
next time. Yeah.
Well, let's see. Oh, looked like that was Dinku.
Oh,
Yes, that's me. Good morning, and sorry I'm late.
Oh yeah, no, we might be closing down the shop here in a little bit. Dinesh,
Oh,
which Dinesh is this? Oh, I guess Isham Sundar. Payam, are you around?
Yes.
Ah,
yes,
there's Sham
yes,
Sundar.
yes.
Yeah, Baba.
Jay Baba. Sham Sundar, where are you from?
I am from India, Punjab.
The Punjab, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's
Jai
Payam.
Baba.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Can I read a quote from Baba, Jeff? Because
What's that?
can I read a quote from Baba?
Yeah, go ahead.
We were talking about virtue earlier, so I thought I'll read this quote.
Yeah.
The greatest virtue is called charity, not this ordinary charity. Real charity means tolerance due to big-heartedness. Tolerance and forgiveness are included in real charity.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Read it once again.
The greatest virtue is called charity, not this ordinary charity. Real charity means tolerance due to big-heartedness. Tolerance and forgiveness are included in real charity.
Yeah. I remember Baukau Churi was giving a talk at the center, And, you know, he was talking about the early years of Baba's life, even though he didn't meet Baba until, what was it, 52 or 53. But then somebody really very insultingly said, "Why are you talking about these early days? You know, you weren't even there," and, you know, quite shocking, you know, and he complied and he started talking about when he met Baba from, you know, he talked at that time. And but it was a stunning kind of a really a, a sour note in this gathering. And the next year I said, I saw him when I was in India and I said, "Wow, do you remember that person insulting you there in front of everybody last year?" And he didn't remember at all. In other words, it didn't even take it in. I mean, it was like shocking. So, you know, he'd already like, he not only forgiven, he forgot the whole thing.
Yeah.
If he
Yeah,
were to see
that's,
that person in the future, it wouldn't be part of his response to this person. Amazing. It just dinged off, you know.
that reminds me of this quote from The Life at Its Best. I mean, it's one of the greatest books I ever, I thought is there. And this one is about the real gift. I'm sure you all read about it, but do you want me to read that? I mean,
Go ahead. Yeah.
it's a little long, but let me try. So Baba says, what is meant by the real gift? If a gift is to be real, then both the giver and the receiver of the gift must forget the transaction completely. To forget completely would mean that the giver should not feel he has given, and the receiver should not know that he has received. If the giver does not forget, then he has obligated the receiver. If the receiver does not forget, he experiences a sense of obligation towards the giver. The real gift of love bestowed on man comes from God alone, and remembrance is absent in both the one who gives and the one who receives. Because of this complete forgetfulness, man can strive eternally to love God, and God remains the eternal beloved for mankind. How can God, who is omniscient, forget? Because unless he forgets, the gift he bestows upon man cannot be real gift that it is. Man too is left in ignorance of the operation of this gift, through which he ultimately realizes his godhood. When omniscient bestows the real gift of love, he manifests his complete forgetfulness of it by apparently becoming callous towards his lovers. Hence, the untold sufferings on the path of love that are experienced by the lovers of God, as also the unimaginable pangs of separation felt by them for their only beloved God. Because God is omniscient and knows the real meaning of the real gift, he becomes callous towards his lover, who, absorbed in the profound depth of God's love, becomes oblivious that he loves him and that it is a gift from him, and hence loves him even more intensely. It is this forgetfulness which arouses in the lover the unallayed pangs of separation and consumes him in the ever growing fires of this incomparable love, that which emerges in the image of his beloved in triumphant and eternal unity. Jai Baba. And that's a beautiful thing. I mean, that forgetfulness. I mean, this is there's
Wow.
this level of forgetfulness. I mean, that's so true. What obviously what Baba says. I mean, he gives you that love, and he forgets about it. That's a beauty.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a beautiful when you say an old friend and you're together.
Mhm.
You're actually giving each other a lot of love, but you don't even notice.
Right, right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just kind of hanging out, but there's so much love flowing back and forth, but neither is aware.
Yeah.
You know,
Reminds me of that story that somebody had that experience at Meher Center. Jeff, do you know that story about the ring that they placed on the table?
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a wedding ring, right?
Yeah, something like that. I vaguely remember the gist of it, but do you know the full
Yeah, I
story?
wish I could remember all the details, but someone had put a ring on the chair to give to Baba on the chair in the lagoon cabin.
Yeah,
Uh,
as a gift to Baba,
as a
and
gift to Baba.
then he went around on the looking for looking around the property. Somebody was showing Baba house and all that, and I think at some point later, maybe you can tell the story better than me.
No, no, I can't quite remember all the details, but
Yeah,
he
he
came
comes
back.
back. He comes back just before leaving to have one last darshan in the lagoon cabin,
Hmm.
and then he notices the ring missing. And actually, he was not leaving yet. He comes back to lagoon cabin, and then he notices the ring missing, and he's very disturbed because he came to the Meher Center and he expects everything to be honest and everything. So when he sees the ring missing, he's very disturbed, and his complete poise is completely gone because you know he's thinking that somebody stole it, obviously. So
Yeah.
so the rest of the afternoon is spoiled for him. He doesn't feel like going anywhere, and he just stays in his cabin. And the next day he's supposed to leave, and then before leaving, he goes into the lagoon cabin, and then he looks up and he sees this message that says, "Things that are real are given and received in silence." And then he realizes, and this is the part I'm not too sure about, but he realizes that he never really gave that gift to Baba, because if he did, he wouldn't even have remembered that he gave that ring over there. And he didn't really, his mind was not really silent after giving it. It still kept that around. Something like that, I think.
Yeah, but I think that then when he did come back, the ring was back again.
Yeah, that's correct. I missed the
Yeah,
important part.
and it it, it wasn't received.
Yeah,
Just
that's
given back to him.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that forgetfulness is a blessing. I mean, I think it's a gift from him too, because it's so difficult to forget things. I mean,
So, sometimes people would come up to Erich and said, Erich, last year you said, such and such, and it was so important in my life, really a pivotal moment. And they would say what he had said. And Erich would say, I said that?
Mhm.
Couldn't even remember. That's the way it is sometimes. But I mean,
but
Erich once said, sometimes we don't know whether it's Baba talking or us talking.
Well, it's probably him talking through us.
Yeah, it kind of gets merged.
Yeah.
And who cares, whether who cares who's talking? I mean, the ownership is not important.
I think we know, right? I mean, when it touches a chord in you, I mean, then you just sense it. I mean, you know it. I mean, as simple as that.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, sometimes I find words come out of my mouth and I wonder where the hell have they come out from, I
yeah,
don't, it's just like, wow, how come I said that? You know, where did it come from?
Yeah. Yeah. I know. It's sometimes you respond to a situation with words that you're very surprised are coming
Yeah.
out of you that target that situation so accurately and
Mm-hmm.
helpful, and it's not even a situation you're familiar with. So Baba, I always think, Baba can, if we dedicate ourselves deeply enough to Baba, he can eclipse us at any moment and get something done, you know, that we may not be aware of at all. It just happens.
Yes.
It's like your junior high teacher may say something and it sticks with you the rest of your life. That may say something positive, like you are a beautiful singer. You should sing, and then your career later, you become a musician just from one little remark. But that remark comes through that person, not from them. It comes through them,
Mm-hmm.
and has very powerful, great influence.
I thought, I don't know if it is right to share at this time, uh, but because the topic is so different. But then a couple of days ago, I went through something that is just, I realized how strong the impact of sanskaras can be. You'll be just blinded. And when you have to go through it, you must go through it. Because what happened was we received a call from, these pranksters or whatever you call them. And it was a call to Shailaja, and then it said your Apple ID has been broken into, and then you'll have a lot of trouble unless you respond to this call of mine and then fix the problems that you have. And you won't believe it. I mean, generally, whenever I get a call like this, I just hang up and say, sorry, I just don't have any issue with that. But this time, both she and me, and she immediately came to me and said, well, I mean, this seems to be a problem. Do you think we should do something about it? Then I said, well, I mean, if this guy is serious, then I think we should look into it. And then this guy talked to us, you won't believe it, for about almost 2 hours. 2 hours, and I was like like in the American lingo, it's called sucker. I was one of those. He gave me an exe file which you should not try ever. And being some sort of software guy myself, I should touch it. I mean, you should not do anything with it. A file that ends in .exe, and this guy gives me that. I just run it, and then I just go through all the things he tells me, and after the whole thing is over, he stole some $2,500 from me straight down. I mean, within 2 hours. Uh,
Wow.
Wow.
Oh,
and I said, what am I doing? At the end of it, I realized, God, what did I get myself into? Uh, and I said, then I realized how strong the influence of samskaras can be, and then you'll be blinded. And that's what happened. Of course, we got all the money back. I mean, Baba,
Yeah.
obviously. And we had to work, I mean, a couple of hours to just make all these calls to all the credit card companies, call to the banks and this and that, and then reset everything and change everything. But it was so, I realized how strong can samskaras be. You'll be blinded when it has to happen. But
Yeah.
then Baba obviously helps you to recover. And then it just took 3-4 hours for us to just go through everything and then reset all the stuff. But I don't know why I said this, but
Yeah. No, it's
impact.
I almost got took one time too. But yeah, but what happens now is that even a legitimate call,
Yeah.
I have to say, I don't know whether this is a scam or not. I'm sorry, I can't help you, and hang up.
Yeah.
Because one time the police department was calling around, uh, collecting money, getting donations and everything, and the guy said he was Sergeant so-and-so. So I went to another phone and I called the police department. Is there a Sergeant so-and-so? They said yes. Well, is he collecting donations for the police, whatever? He said, no, we're not doing anything like that. Wow. So they even got the name of a legitimate, you know, police sergeant and trying to get some money out of me. So I mean, it's even something like that. They're so clever.
Yeah, I mean they can be clever, but I was thinking in a different way. I mean, I was not affected. I know that it takes a couple of hours to fix the whole thing,
Yeah,
and if it has to go, it has to go. That's my mindset. I never worry about things.
yeah,
But then, how blinded we can
yeah,
be when things have to happen, and the
yeah,
force of samskaras.
That is called influence of Maya.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Influence of Maya.
yeah. It is sad
Yeah.
Yeah.
happening today.
I know there are too many scams going around, and you really don't know what's genuine and what's not.
Yeah.
We've had warnings from the police just yesterday, in fact, it was in the papers, about a WhatsApp scam going around. So, you know, just how careful can you be? As you said, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen.
Yeah, they're going to just have to come to me in person. Then I'm gonna, I don't do any of that stuff over the phone. Yeah. Hey, well, I think I'm going to go, you know,
Yeah. Hey
call
Jeff,
it.
by the way, next time when we meet, when
Yeah.
Alan is here, I have a small video. I mean, not video, audio of Adi talking about Avatar and God. Just about
Uh-huh.
7 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Alan said he might want to listen to that when you are around.
Yeah.
So we'll when we are all there, I'll play that for all of us to listen.
I told you, I think,
Yeah, the puppet and puppeteer, right?
the
Oh,
puppeteer.
Yeah.
wow.
Dinku,
Yeah.
did you hear that? When
I-
I was in the lagoon cabin the other day, and I was standing in front of Baba's chair, and there's been this, there's been some talk about God and then the avatar, God in human form, and then the formless God.
Mhm.
Baba just flashed it to me. I never thought of this, but he flashed this, that God is the puppeteer, and the avatar is a hand puppet. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
is the hand puppet separate from the puppet? Is one superior to the other? They're just the same. It's just the same person. It's the same being. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm doing the hand puppet there, I mean
Mhm.
that's me. It's not like, oh, the hand is somehow a different being and then the God is the other being. It's just all one and the same.
Yeah, but the avatar says he is God, right?
Yeah,
Only he's down in human form.
yeah. He's just, he looks down at this pathetic earth and he sees what a terrible place, a situation we're in, and he says, I'm going to go down and visit him, and visit them. So he, takes a form and comes down and visits us. But he doesn't relinquish the infinite knowledge, power, bliss, and infinite consciousness
Mhm.
uh, at all. That's there. But so it's just a hand puppet that comes down, and he manipulates it, but he retains, all of his infinite qualities, attributes.
Wow.
You know,
But because
But
it's so funny is that because God, people don't have, I mean, most people don't have a problem with God creating creation and creating human beings. If he can create a human being, why can't he create a form for himself?
yeah,
You know?
true.
Yeah, you know.
But Jeff, I have this question that when Baba said he came down as Zarathustra and Jesus and Muhammad, now at that time, like Jesus was the son of God, Zarathustra was a prophet, and Muhammad also was a prophet. So what's the distinction between them being prophets and Baba coming now as the avatar?
As God in human form.
Yeah, but then they were also human, right?
Yeah, they're exactly the same as Baba. It's just that humanity wasn't ready to accept the idea that God could come as man.
Right.
So Jesus said he was the son of God, but he also said, I and my Father are one. So, you know, but humanity, you know, just can't imagine. How can this finite person over there, seemingly finite person over there, be God? But, you know, it's...
So they were the avatars in any case. It was the avatar.
Exactly the same.
Of course, they are, sorry for the interruption. They are the avatars, but the difficulty is the Muhammad was never proclaimed him avatar because of the situation. That was the mistakes. That's what Baba says. The weaknesses of avatars, past avatars. Baba has clearly described this, the weakness of avatar, where Jesus was unable to tell that he is the God. Similarly, the prophet, say the Zoroaster. Similarly, Muhammad. Whereas Ram and Krishna, they clearly said there because of the rishis and munis, they came down to as a human beings and they came to this thing. That cannot be proclaimed by prophet and the Zoroaster and Jesus. There's a beautiful, if you want to read the weakness of Avatar, you just go to the Hyderabad website and weakness of Avatar Mirror, just type, everything will come out.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Merchant.
Thank you.
Yeah. I know it's a difficult concept, but I've also said that Baba's body is not like a regular human body because his body is actually like a veil. If he has infinite light, so his body is actually preventing us from being blinded by the light. He's infinite power, and his body is. If he let out his power, if his body didn't kind of veil the power, we would be overpowered. If he let out his infinite knowledge, we would feel totally self-conscious because he would know everything about us. So he acts like he's ignorant so that we can feel kind of comfortable around him. And he can't, if he expressed his bliss instead of suffering, we would be just totally blown away by the bliss. So his body is actually veiled, whereas ours are, you know,
gross.
Ours are doing the best they can. But I'm not veiling any light, folks.
But Jeff, your infinite knowledge about Baba and all the instances, you have to, I hope you're putting it all down in a book of memoirs or whatever.
I mean, I was in Mondeley Hall and I just took all this down. I mean, I did write it down, but it was fascinating to be there, thousands and thousands of hours of hearing these things, and I made note of it, you know, because they're not just abstract. They connected to my inner life. So I was able to remember them experientially as I felt them, you might say.
You really must come out with a book on all this.
You know, oddly enough, I've been writing.
Fascinating.
Oddly enough, I've been writing some things down. because somebody was asking me to, has written letters to me asking about certain things. And so I wound up, I've probably written about, I'm just talking about in the last, since the pandemic, about 100 pages of stories of exchanges with them that I had with the Mandali, different ones.
Are you going to publish a book or something?
I don't know. I never was inclined to do so, but this pandemic, I mean, after all these years, somehow this pandemic and this person, there are a couple of people that have been asking me to write down some things, and so I got into doing it. Just sitting here on the sofa where I'm sitting,
Very nice.
you know, typing away. So, like I say, I was not inclined to do it ever.
No, I mean, I think, you know, let me read this. This obviously makes a lot of sense to me right now. This message of Baba's. Baba says, to penetrate into the essence of all being and significance, and to release the fragrance of that inner attainment for the guidance and benefit of others by expressing in the world of forms truth, love, purity, and beauty. There is a soul game which has an intrinsic and absolute worth. All other happenings and incidents and attainments can in themselves have no lasting importance. The reason why I read this is because for the benefit of others, you have to put it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really need to.
Oh, I'll read one of them here. Let's see. I gotta. Let's see here. I'm gonna read. I'll read one of these that I've written. Here's an exchange with Erich that you might find interesting. He was truly helpful to me, beginning with my fledgling years with Baba until the last year of his life. These are the last few words Erich spoke to me, words that proved to be so invaluable in my life with Baba. At the time, I had no idea they were his last words to me. And here it is. Every year in the fall, I would go to India, and at some point during my stay, I would get together with a guy named Craig Ruff, who was one of the Westerners living there. We would compare notes. He would tell me of the difficulties and problems he was dealing with in the trust compound, where the Mandali came into work and where a number of Westerners and some of Baba's close ones lived in one small compound. On my part, I would share some of the difficulties coming up at the center in Myrtle Beach. Around Baba centers, there always seemed to be problems. I had been particularly troubled over the years by the struggle to achieve harmony among the staff at the center. After all, Baba stressed again and again the importance of harmony amongst his Mandali and his lovers. So Craig and I were engaged in our usual yearly comparing of notes about our respective places. We were sitting at a little table just outside the door of the trust office. In the midst of our conversation, Erich came out of the office on his way to take a telephone call at the far end of the veranda. And as he passed our table, he stopped and looked down, saying in a mock suspicious tone, as if we were a couple of conspirators, "What are you two guys doing?" Craig piped up, saying, "Jeff is telling me about the problems at the center." Erich looked down at me where I was seated and said, "Jeff, are you still having problems?" I felt these words come directly from Baba through Erich into my lap. I caught them. Reading between the lines, I knew exactly the real meaning of what he was saying, which was, are you still having a problem with problems? I realized in that moment that I was having a problem with problems, believing that they shouldn't be there. There should be genuine harmony at the center, not ongoing problems. But in that moment, Baba through Erich brought home to me what I really always knew, there are always going to be problems in life, even in the Baba world. And it was naive of me to continue to harbor such impossible expectations. Strive for harmony, yes, but do not expect it. It was clear to me, just deal with problems as they come up in the moment. That is, don't make an ongoing campaign of eliminating all problems. Above all, enjoy the periods when there are no problems, when love is flowing and relationships are harmonious. And oddly enough, I have not really had any major problems with what's going on at the center since. Knock on wood.
Wow.
Yeah. But that was the last thing he said to me. But you know, I was having a problem with problems.
That's right.
You know, I mean, and we all do that, or
Yeah.
we have we react to our reactions.
Hmm.
You know, you can have reactions, but then on top of it, we react. I shouldn't be reacting. So now we're reacting to reactions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of it just adds another layer on. But I really haven't had a problem with problems. I deal with the problems here, but I don't have a problem with the fact that there are ongoing problems that are happening here.
Basically, you don't ruminate over them after. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just you handle them, they're gone, it's over, and then the next one.
yeah.
But
And
take it
I'll enjoy the time in between. Now, you know, Mayor Sean Nori down there at the Hyderabad said,
Yeah.
there are civil wars going on between those.
No, it's a usual human tendency in all the centers, Jeff, because normally the three things which come is the inferiority complex, that is called ego, and then everybody, right from the moment you start the program, somebody says, I want to sing first, or you are favoring some person to sing and others you are not giving. All these things happen in
Yeah.
the things that only with the love and affection we have to solve, and that Baba will be. You all should think everything is done by Baba beyond us, and he always thinks Baba is beyond us. That's all.
Yep, I know. I've been around Baba places, and they're dysfunctional for a reason, for a divine reason, I would say.
it can really boil down to some really, really silly stuff. The practical aspects, particularly in India, I mean, things are a bit out of control in general because of the layout and everything. And people have different opinions, and it's definitely not easy to wade through them, particularly when you are among everybody. Sitting here, I can talk anything I want, but when I go there, I hope this wisdom prevails. But
Yeah,
that's
I mean if we peeled away just the layer that a lot of us are from America, we would peel away, one is Jewish, one is Muslim, one is Hindu, one is Buddhist. We're really quite, I mean, a lot of us would not be even hanging out with each other if we were, because we would be in our cultural environment. But because we're all into Baba, we are running into people that are quite different, people we wouldn't normally have run into, I think.
yeah.
Because we would kind of tend to stay within our own culture, our own, and Baba's mixing up all different religions, all different cultural backgrounds, different economic statuses, social and economic, differences. And so you have to stretch.
You know, I just realized how important it is not to have problem with the problems. It's so beautiful. Yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to head. We've got, I am you still there? And
Yes, I'm listening and cooking dinner.
Oh, good.
Are you having any problems?
Oh, there's always problems. Every day there are
You have a
problems.
problem with problems.
I heard you speak of that, and I echo what everyone says, Jeff. These are nuggets that you've accumulated over all these years, and you have this amazing memory, and we benefit from it. And even when I hear it twice or 3 times, I need to hear it. So thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, good. Well, like I say, I just, well, I'm just passing on what I gathered.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and they put it into your heart too. It's not just into your head.
Yes.
What they said
Yes.
went right to your heart. It's easier to easier for your heart to remember things than your mind.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you, Payam.
Yeah.
We need this time period, especially. Baba, I know, is turning the key, at least I know for me especially, in bringing me closer to him, but helping me with the struggles that he brings up with these, his messages and the artis and what you share and effort and grace, all of it. I just feel it's building a foundation.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
We need it. I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are like lullabies. I mean, just listen to them every day. And then
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's yeah, no, I think we're very I mean, I just feel so fortunate that I mean, how did this happen? You know, how did I came from, from a non-religious family and gravitated to the Avatar himself. It's
actually, let me ask you, Jeff. I mean, I don't want to take much of your time because you do
Yeah.
want to sleep and all that stuff. But did your parents and anybody in your family became embraced Baba?
Well, yeah, my mom knew
Mhm.
Baba. I mean, she recognized Baba. My dad had a regard for Baba, even though he's an atheist.
Oh, okay.
He and one of my dad's heroes was Gandhi.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So he believed in a higher life, but he didn't believe that anybody could become God. He didn't go that far. Yeah.
You have any brothers and sisters, Jeff?
Yeah, a brother and 3 sisters.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah. But we were more fun-loving people, but we were the heathens in the neighborhood.
Oh, I see.
But everybody hung out at our place because it was the most fun.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, all the kids in the neighborhood, when church was over, they all piled into our house. They weren't worried about their chances for salvation by interacting with us. Yeah. Well, I'm going to head. Nasreen, are you still there? Yep, she's there. I see her.
Yes, I am.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yep.
You know, the way you speak is so good, and it has a lot of feeling in it, and I just can't leave.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. No, it's and Mayor Prasad, good to see you. I'm hoping that we'll get Alan and Jake and maybe Adrian.
Yeah, yeah.
Not tomorrow, but I'm not on tomorrow, but Wednesday, I hope.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope I can join.
All right,
that.
we'll be there.
Yeah.
We'll be there. And Jai Baba, everybody, I got to leave too.
Yeah,
Jai Baba, good
Jai
night.
Meher Baba, Prakash, Jai Meher Baba.
Jai
Baba.
Baba, Mayor Chand. Hey,
Jai Meher Baba.
Prakash, let me ask you, did Ganesh from Pune and and Karen St. John come on again
When?
after Artie in the last couple of days?
I don't remember, but
No, he has
no.
not come to the artist. I was regularly.
Oh,
Ganesh didn't come.
huh? Okay.
Ganesh, no.
Ganesh
If
wasn't
you want
there.
to inform Ganesh, I can inform him.
Oh yeah,
Anything.
he knows about this because he came on one night unexpectedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any particular thing you have in mind, Jeff? I mean, regarding.
Oh no, I was just wondering if they had come on.
Yeah.
He's
No.
a very good.
Yeah.
Both he and Karen are very
Yeah.
wonderful to have talk about Baba.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I can inform the Ganesh. You'll be on Wednesday or Thursday.
Wednesday and Thursday I'll be on. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Wednesday means tomorrow.
Yeah.
For us, Wednesday means tomorrow.
Oh yeah. That's,
You-
sorry.
Yeah.
US
All right. That's great.
Not
you.
tomorrow night. Not tomorrow night, but the next 3 nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Great.
can. Okay.
Jeff, where can I read up on Kitty Davis?
On Kitty Davy,
Yeah, Davy, sorry, yeah.
she wrote a beautiful book called Love Alone Prevails.
Uh-huh.
And it's her autobiography, her whole life with Bob. It's a beautiful book. And I imagine your center has it. Love Alone Prevails by Kitty Davy.
Okay, no, the center is shut just now because of the lockdown. But maybe I can try and get it from Meher Book House. I got a couple of books from there.
From where?
Meher
The
Book
Meher
House,
Book
Hyderabad.
House.
Meher Prasad, Meher Raju. Meher Raju. But it is, I think so, it's available on the internet on the website of the Avatar Meher Baba. Avatar Meher Baba, Avatar of the Age, and also Meher Baba organizations. There.
On the internet?
Yeah. You go to the trust site, Meher Baba, Avatar of the Age, or Meher Baba organization you'll have. You can
order it.
Sorry, what's the second one?
meherbaba.org.
.org.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's a classic because it's taken from her diaries that when she was with Baba from, well, she first met Baba in 1931, and it goes all the way up till to at least 1969.
Okay.
And all of the training that Baba did with those early Eastern and Western Mandali who were together there. She was spent, I think, 19 years with Baba in India. And yeah, it's a wonderful book. Mayor Prasad, you've read it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also liked her, her talks in the book One Fine Thread.
Yeah.
And the beautiful book by Kathy Riley on Dilruba Days.
Oh, yeah. Dilruba.
About Kitty Davy.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. I
Yeah.
loved the book too.
Yeah. But yeah, Dinku, you will like that. It's very, it's a personal, I mean, it's a personal account. You're getting a personal camera angle, not something like the God-Man, which is more objective, so to speak. This is through her eyes what it was like to be with Baba.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll try and get a hold of it.
Yeah, I wish I could send it.
There's also one more book written by the Charles Sens. I got the Elizabeth. Is The Day is the Answer. It's a small book.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. The Day is the Answer.
Okay.
When you said the problems of the problems, I was about to mention about love alone prevails to solve the whole problems of the problems.
Love alone prevails. I'll tell you about how that title came about sometime, but I'm going to go now, and I'm going to disappear into the ether.
Okay, but when you appear again next time, bring your guitar along.
Okay. I did sing one song.
Yeah, unfortunately I missed it today.
All right. Much
All
love.
right. Good.
Jai Baba.
Keep Baba
Good
there.
night.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Yep.
Baba. Avtar Meher